Okay, welcome back to another Modern League, this time with Abzan. Again, another one of my favourite decks at the moment. Decided going to try a list with a couple of Lurus in the main, so you have to, gone in for the Mistress Bauble, but other than that, it's a fairly similar idea. Inquisition into Stoneforge or Goyf, and then you've got Liliana to back it up. A few testy things in the sideboard, so we've got the Blight Beetles to try and hedge against Heliod, and we've got Unravel the Ethers as well, which is overperforming. Kai's Guard, which I don't know, I just really like that card. 200 Explosives, which is really good with Lurus, as we've seen in other lists. And one of my Triton trying this out, saw someone on Twitter going on about this card. Just a 2-mana 2/1 with Death Touch that gains you life when it enters the battlefield. So just something that Prowess have to deal with. It gains you life. It can mill cards for Lurus, what have you, and you can buy it back with Lurus as well. So I thought we'd give it a go. Might be rad, but a 2-mana 2/1 with Death Touch and a life gain clause I don't think it's too bad. So let's jump into a league. Hope everyone's doing well today. Please do give us a subscribe if the content is something you're enjoying. Playing a lot of mid-range at the moment, so if like me you love some good old slugfests in Modern, do subscribe, and as usual let me know in the comments what you think. And this is bad, in which case keep your opinions to yourself. no, always happy to hear it, things we could do better, either with the channel or with plays that I've made. So yeah, I'm gonna trying to get better, and yeah, this is in preparation for the super qualifier on Friday. Likely going to play Abzan, Rock or Jund, so just trying to decide between the three. Really looking forward to Abzan after Strixhaven is released as well. Looks like black-white combination getting some very good cards. The 2-mana instant that exiles a mono-coloured permanent springs to mind. Okay, be on the draw for round number 1. Okay, so not a bad hand. I think we'll keep this. 4 lands a bit heavy, but we'd really like a discard spell here. But we've got a turn 1 play and a turn 2 play, which is pretty good. Watery Grave tapped. So what does that tell us? Not a lot, but so could be mill. It's not likely to be Grixis Shadow. Could be some sort of control, Esper control. Okay, looks like it is Esper control. Okay, so we'll send the snake in. So this is likely to be a hard matchup, I think. We've got a good aggressive start. I'll be surprised to see this mana leaked or spell snared. Opponent might not have a counter spell. Can't remember how many copies of mana leak and things they play. I think they play a 1-off spell snare. Maybe 3 mana leak. Don't think they play any copies of remand. This obviously can't be forced. Well, there is a mana leak. That's a bit annoying. Obviously, yeah, being on the play would have been huge here. Could be a Teferi. No Teferi. So let's go ahead in and attack in for 2 again. Possibly should have played a land first, but okay, so I'll play a Catacombs. I think we're just going to play our stuff here. No reason, you know, we don't want to let it get to next turn where they've got Cryptic or Snap Mana Leak available. Looks like it's something. Yeah, Archmage's Charm. Yeah, okay. So we'd also rather my opponent uses their Archmage's Charm there to rather than a draw 2, I think. Okay, so go and get the Triome. Ball was not too bad. How much do we want to try and level up Hex Drinker? I think we'll put a level on it at least. See what I'm drawing. Blooming Marsh. Okay, so we're not going to want to draw that, so we'll fetch right now. Yeah, definitely don't want to see a Blooming Marsh. And we'll go and just grab a Forest, I think. I think we're just going to attack first. Wouldn't be surprised to see my opponent try and do something about this Hex Drinker, but I think we'll hold now. Just put the odd counter on it here and there. Don't think we want to Kaya's Guile just yet. Happy to wait for a Snapcaster Mage. Okay, so we're going to go for the same trick. We're seeing Tarmogoyf. It's not the best, but it is another threat. Okay, so we're going to try and Kaya's Guile for 2 modes here. So each opponent sacrifices a creature and will exile their graveyard. Hopefully we don't get got by another counter spell, but if we do, I mean, at least okay, so that worked out very well for us. So now I think we're probably going to try and level up the Hex Drinker. I know it means sacrificing the Tarmogoyf that's on top of our library, but I think we're going to... Okay, so we've got a protection from instants Hex Drinker now. We draw another Stoneforge. So not too bad. Teferi would be really annoying, as is Verdict. Okay. Not the best draw. So we'll go and grab a Stoneforge Mystic. I'll go and play a Stoneforge Mystic even. And then we'll... What should we go and get with it? Spell Snare would be really brutal here. I think it's just Batter Skull. Because we haven't got many creatures on the field, so getting a sword isn't really what we want to be doing. Okay, it's a Jace. That's yeah, that's pretty rough. I think this matchup's probably really hard. Better for Jund when you get access to Bloodbraid Elf and such like. Abrupt Decay, not really something we wanted to draw there. No, I don't think we want to attack really. Just a fairy as well. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Okay, so we'll activate. Put Batter Skull onto the field. Yeah, that's pretty good. Might as well bring this back to my hand. We really don't want to see any more lands. Yeah, opponent destroying so many cards. Yeah, just shocking. Okay, there's a Tarmogoyf. Not the best, not the worst. Play a Batter Skull. Opponent must have found something to deal with this by now. Okay, Force of Negation. And a Spell Snare, sure. Okay, yeah, it's getting to the stage where we can't win this game. Not sure what sort of heavy hitters we've got against control. Liliana is a heavy hitter, I suppose. I think we're just playing it out. Maybe we should have waited for a Thought Seize there. Another Force of Negation, sure. Esper Charm. So opponent drawing many cards. Not sure what we can find really. 3 mana. Okay, we'll discard 2 cards. Don't know, we could hit. Well, that's no good. We'll just save that in hand. Do I concede here is the question. Snap Custom Age. Okay, opponent drawing cards. We're at 9, which isn't great. So we find a Fatal Push, which isn't, it kills Snap Custom Age, which we'll do in upkeep. Another Snap. So I think if this doesn't resolve, we'll probably concede. We will concede. Opponent playing a lot of Force of Negations, or finding all 3 of them. Okay, so yeah, this matchup is real tricky. We'll bring in Galactic. Probably an Spell Bomb. Like a lot of our cards are fairly good, I guess. Kaya's Guile was okay there. Oh, Lingering Souls we want. Oh yeah, Fatal Push can go. I think, yeah, keep the Kaya's Guiles in. And then, yeah, we'll go with that. Could consider Ashiok, but I don't think it's that amazing. You know, you can get them if you get it down on turn 3 and they've got a hand full of fetch lands, but I think it's unlikely to be high impact. Missing the Bloodbraid Elves and Renin 6s against control. Okay, this is a clear mulligan. 6 lands, not what we're going to find. I think we will keep this. We'll bottom. I think we'll bottom a land. If we can potentially get Gaddock Teague wielding a sword, that would be pretty good. So we see Snap, Logic Knot. So Logic Knot is an interesting one because they couldn't cast that with Gaddock Teague. So we'll just take this. We'll just take the Snapcaster Mage. When in doubt, take Snapcaster Mage. Then next turn we'll play Gaddock Teague, which shuts off Logic Knot and Jace. Yeah, we're just going to play it now. Isn't hot. They put it on top. If it's a Fatal Push, that'll be really annoying. I think we'll Thoughtseize first. Okay, so they do have a Snapcaster Mage. But Teferi is also very annoying. So I'll take Teferi. Just cast a Goyf, and then I'm not going to attack with Gaddock Teague. Because we don't want my opponent to just use their Snapcaster Mage like an Ambush Viper to kill our Gaddock Teague, because it's shutting off quite a lot of cards in their hand at the moment. Lingering Souls is pretty good. Again, we're just going to attack with Goyf here. And try and linger some souls. Could be worth keeping something like that, but oh, my opponent found Fatal Push. That's annoying, yeah. Because now my opponent can just play Jace, and they play the Logic Knot, so they just slam Jace, bounce the Goyf. Yeah, that's not great. See what my opponent's drawing. Another Snapcaster Mage. Well, we're going to have to Lingering Souls, I think, because Snap Push on my Goyf is really bad. We find Decay, which isn't great. Possibly should have sided some of these out. So yeah, we're going to attack Jace with both of these. I would imagine one of them will get snap pushed. And then I think we're playing... Yeah, I think we're playing Goyf next. Just to, yeah, we need a way to kill this Jace. We know my opponent has another Snapcaster in hand. Big Teferi as well. Yep, looks that way. Okay, we're struggling now. So my opponent can Snapcaster. We do find a land, which isn't too bad. So yeah, we're going to attack with all at Jace. That's annoying. Okay, so if we sacrifice, I think we have to sacrifice the Goyf and then decay the token. Well, that's a pretty horrid exchange for us, but at least we do kill the Jace, and then we'll play the Stoneforge Mystic. Go grab. I think we just grab Batterskull here. Okay, so one Planeswalker down. Oh, my opponent's found another Jace. And they kill all of our stuff. Great. Let's see if we can resolve this Liliana. We do resolve the Liliana. I think we might just clear out my opponent's. If we tick up, how much do we care? Yeah, let's tick up. We tick up. No, let's tick down, because if we tick up, we get a 4. The Snapcaster attacks Liliana for 2. She goes to 2, and then we can't ever edict it. I mean, I don't think we can beat these two in conjunction with each other on the field. We can tick up. Get rid of a sword. Play a Bauble. Bauble myself, I suppose. Lingering Souls. Sure. So we... Yeah, I guess we want to keep that. I'm just going to concede here. You know, the writing's on the wall. I think that's a horrid matchup for Abzan. Can't be helped. That's the way it goes sometimes. See you again for round number 2. Okay, round number 2. Interesting hand. We need white mana. But as soon as we find it, I think we'll keep this. We've got a redraw with Mistress Bauble. We're on the draw. We've got 2 discard spells. I think that's okay. Yeah. If one of these was a different land, it would be really good. Blooming Marsh. So looking like the Rock. Okay, yeah, looking like yeah, good old rock. I mean, our hand to them probably looks like Orzhov, but see what they take here. We are going to get to discard spell them. Okay, they take an Inquisition, implying that they've got 2 spells they want to protect, I guess, or just hoping that we don't ever draw a white land. Okay, another Stoneforge Mystic, not exactly what we want. I think I'm going to Thought Seize my opponent rather than just do that and then bauble them later. We're going to take this Bob. Bob will just outright kill us. Oh yeah, what I meant there is I could have baubled to see what they were drawing, but I think I'd rather protect it from a potential Thought Seize in my opponent's hand. Okay, my opponent's drawing lands, so they're going to play a Scoos. Overgrown Tomb, Scoos. Okay, so we find Kaya's Guile. We really wanted a white land there. So I think we'll go ahead and Thought Seize. Let's take my opponent's last card. Well, last card of note. We really need white mana here. Okay, any untapped land now, really? Opponent going to work on our graveyard. Yep, any untapped white, well, any untapped land now is really good. Preferably white. Come on. Yes, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna just go with slamming Lily here. And then we've got Kaya's Guile for next turn. Okay, opponent got 2 cards in hand. They find Liliana as well, so we'll get rid of one of these many copies of Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, I think we're just gonna did we get rid of that Goyf? Yeah, I mean, it kind of reveals information, I suppose, but we will use the ability. I think we'll just get Batter Skull. So I think we're ahead here. Opponent probably will edict us to make us sacrifice this Stoneforge Mystic. Spell Bomb, don't really care about that. Okay, so I'll sacrifice Stoneforge. Okay, Catacombs is interesting. I think we'll play Stoneforge again. And go and grab a Sword of Feast and Famine. And then, do I want to tick up, or do I? I think I'm just going to play the land and pass. I don't think discarding something with Liliana is really worth it. Obviously going to try and go and get the Triome. Okay, so we sacrifice our Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, opponent finds a Tarmogoyf. Go and get the Triome here. Wouldn't be too surprised to see Ghost Quarter on the Triome. Go get Forest. So the question is now what we do. I think we're just I think we're just cashing in the Liliana. And then passing the turn. And then we're going to kind of... yeah, it depends what my opponent finds. Hex Drinker. That's fine. Okay, so yeah, just each opponent sacrifice a creature. Do we want to make a 1/1? I think we do. Each opponent sacrifice a creature, create a 1/1. Just because then if we find a land, we can play and equip Sword of Feast and Famine. We do find a land, but it's not the best land. I guess we just play it. I think we're just going to... we could just play Lurrus here. I think we'll just play the sword. Okay, that's not great. So the first step is equipping this, because that's going to untap all of our lands. Then the second step is playing Lurrus, and then fetch a tap land. So go get Temple Garden. Then we'll play Stoneforge Mystic. Go and grab a sword, which we'll then play, I think. And yeah, hope that... I mean, this Hex Drinker is going to be pretty good. Okay, my opponent concedes. A little bit surprised. My opponent could boost Hex Drinker. They could put all the levels in. That would make it a... That would be 6. So it would be on level 6. Attack us for... I guess they can't attack this turn. Well, they can, but it'll only hit us for 4. Okay. So yeah, Lurrus main there being really good. So we're going to cut all of our discard in this kind of matchup. We'll bring in Engineered Explosives, Kaya's Guile, Lingering Souls. Maya Triton could be nice here. It's a Death Toucher. Okay, so these are the ones we're considering. Ashiok and Spellbomb. I don't think Ashiok is any good. We want all these. All these are fine. All those are fine. So it's really Maya Triton versus Spellbomb. Death Touch versus... They're definitely running Lurrus in the main, but I think let's give it a go. We'll give it a go. Okay. Yeah, the hand's fine. It's got some good stuff in it. Okay, opponent doesn't really have too much there. They're taking a look at what we're drawing. Guy's good. Can kill Hex Drinker at least. Okay, well we definitely need to kill that. So we'll just go and grab Overgrown Tomb and cast Push. So now the question is, do we want to cast our own threat? If my opponent has Liliana, it's so bad. But I think we do. And I think that threat will be probably Stoneforge Mystic. At least it's then, at least we do get a card back out of it. If my opponent Liliana's. So we'll use the ability. And we'll go and get, I think Batter Skull early on is the way to go. Could be better to get a sword here. Looks like my opponent's missing a land. So they, oh no, so they don't have Liliana here. There's a Tarmogoyf. Okay, so we find a land. Which is pretty good. So yeah, we're just going to use Kaya's Guile here. Yeah, good to hit the land on time there. We could exile my opponent's graveyard, but I think here is going to, each opponent sacrifice a creature, create a token. Just a nice 2 for 1. Could be a Liliana now. Okay, so that is Lurus. But we do have the kill spell for it. Wouldn't mind finding another land so we can double spell. Liliana is obviously an amazing draw. Okay, we find Bauble, so we could do the same as my opponent, but just Bauble. Guess we'll see what my opponent's drawing. Not too afraid of discard because I would imagine my opponent's cut most, if not all of it. It's drawing a land. So we'll just decay this right away. Don't let them untap and Veil of Summer us. So we find Liliana, which is pretty nice. Okay, Forest to my opponent. Okay, yeah, opponent is going to be in. Okay, this is fine. Like, yeah, we've gotten really lucky there to draw Liliana. Because Hexdrink is really good. I'd imagine we're going to get spell bombed. We've got a hand filled with gas. Opponent has only got a land in hand, but they've got 2 cards underneath this. There's the catacombs. Kalitas. Crikey, that's okay, we instantly draw the trophy, which is pretty good. So yeah, we'll tick up Liliana. I think we're just going to ditch Batterskull. Okay. Yeah, we'll attack. And then yeah, we're just going to trophy this Kalitas. We're going to try and wait until my opponent does something at the other end step. Okay, so in that case we're going to do it in their draw step, in their upkeep. Essentially we're just trying to minimise the impact, the possibility of my opponent drawing Veil of Summer. Yeah, we've drawn well here. I haven't drawn any lands, but you know, 3 is enough for the deck. We know my opponent's got 2 cards in hand, 3 cards in hand. One of them's a land, one of them is a Scavenging Ooze, and a Tarmogoyf. Okay, so we find a land. I think we might just Edict my opponent. No, we'll tick up, I think, get rid of Allurus. Play the Triton, see how good he is. He, she. We hit Lingering Souls, which is pretty good. We're going to cast that now because otherwise Scavenging Ooze will eat it. And so you go. Oh, I should have attacked there, really. Yeah, opponent been through a lot of lands. But my Trident, like, you know, yeah, they can't attack through it. So yeah, we'll just have my opponent sacrifice a creature. Play Tarmogoyf. I think we're going to hold the land in case my opponent finds Liliana. Yeah, opponent making their Scavenging Ooze pretty big. Find another land. Another Lurus is... Ooh, that's strong. Yeah, that's really strong. They probably play Hex Drinker and level it up here. that's really bad for us. Yeah, one of the best draws. We need to kill this Scavenging Ooze. Yeah, they play the Hex Drinker and they're going to level it up, one would imagine. Yeah, Lurrus a good hit from my opponent. Still can't attack really, but oh, we find another land. I think we're just going to play Lurrus here. Sadly, nothing to play with it. I mean, we are slamming in with spirits in the air that my opponent can't do anything about. So they attack for 6. They attack for 6. We attack for 3. They attack for 6. We attack. Yeah. So they are on a quicker clock than us. So yeah, not gonna sacrifice his Verdant Catacombs, I don't think. Okay, killing Liliana. Okay, I don't know if that was a mistake on my opponent's part. No, it seems fine. We find another Tarmogoyf. So we'll attack with all of the spirits. We could attack with this and then play it again. But if my opponent doesn't block, they can then attack back with a lot, but they just bounce off. There's no way my opponent blocks this, right? So taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would increase the clock, though. Yeah, I think we're going to attack. Okay, opponent decides that it is worth doing. So yeah, this is good actually, because we can now cast this from the grave, gaining us a little bit of life, and then cast a Goyf. I suppose their skews can gain them 1, 2, 3 life. But this Hex Drinker is eventually just going to get us. Can't block it, so we're dead in 3 turns. Although we can attack with Lurrus, which would put us to 18. What do we want to draw here, really? More Lilianas. A sword. A sword would actually be really nice. Yeah, Sword of Feast and Famine or Fire and Ice would be really good. So we can't really do that trick again with Maya Triton, because my opponent will just eat it with Scavenging Ooze. I suppose Lingering Souls is actually our best draw. Okay, opponent going for... Although, do I crack here? Not sure I do, because we might want Revolt for this Lurus. Opponent finding a Bob and then casting it, which is interesting. Sword is... Kaya's Guile is nice. So I think we're just bashing in. I don't think we're bashing in with everything. I think it's just the spirits. I suppose my opponent can gain life with how many life is this? 4. Yes, that's pretty good. Oh, actually, we can then Kaya's Guile to stop my opponent gaining life. That's pretty nice. Okay, let's go with this. I guess, will my opponent try... How many can they eat? There's 1, 2 creatures in the bin. So I think it's higher reward to just hold up this Kaya's Guile. If they go for it now, I'm definitely going to do it. Okay, yeah, so we're going to exile their graveyard. We don't want them to sack a creature because they'll sacrifice Dark Confidant, so I'm just going to gain 4 life. Or do I make a token? Exile each card. So if I make a token, that's an extra point of flying power. If I gain 4, we can block the Skoos, block a Goyf, block. We can gain some life in the process. So I think I'm going to make the token. So exile cards from the graveyard and make a token. So my opponent doesn't gain any life. And they could die to their Dark Confidant trigger. If they flip Liliana. Yeah, they reveal Plague Engineer. Yeah, okay, so we get there with that. Obviously, that's a, we sequenced well at the end there. Opponent flips Plague Engineer, which would have wrecked us here. That would have really leveled the playing field because my opponent names Spirit and then we lose our aerial advantage. But yeah, we get there, played to our outs, and yeah, happy with how that went. See you back again for round number 3. Okay, here we go for round number 3. Opponent is on a Lurus deck. So I think we're going to mulligan this. Fatal Push is good, but if Bauble finds us another land... Okay, I think we will keep this. Goyf is better. And we'll bottom... Bottom basic swamp, I think. A little bit of flood insurance with this peat land. Okay, looking like Jund Shadow. Yep. Okay. So here we're going to play Blooming Marsh. A couple of reasons. Firstly, we know that there's a land on the bottom of my deck, so I don't want to shuffle that back in. And secondly, we don't want to lose life because my opponent is playing Scourge of the Skyclaves. The longer you can stay at 20 life. My opponent doesn't have another land. Ooh, I wasn't going to play. I was considering not playing anything here, but I think playing Tarmogoyf is too tempting. Well, I mean, yeah, we've drawn Stoneforge Mystic as well. If my opponent has Fatal Push, which would be rather stick. Given the amount of land we've got, I think we're just going to play Stoneforge. Yeah, we're just going to play Stoneforge here. So could be Dismember, could be Fatal Push. So we're pretty sure they've got a removal spell. So I think we're just going to get Batterskull. We've got the lands to cast it on turn 5 if we need to. Okay. Opponent finds the land. They have a Tarmogoyf as well. Okay, we find another Stoneforge Mystic. I think we'll play Stoneforge. They haven't got red mana for Bolt. And if this can stick, I think we're in really good shape. So we'll go and get Sword of Feast Famine here. And then play a land and pass the turn. End of turn, we'll just go and get the Triome. Yeah, obviously not blocking here. Happy to take 2. Not happy to take 2, but rather take 2 and have our Stoneforge live. Question is, does my opponent have Dismember and or Fatal Push or Redland Bolt? I guess I've been thinking my opponent's on Jund Shadow all the time. This could be another rock deck. Could well be another rock deck. They've got Lurrus their companion. It could just be Lurrus Rock, like a popular one on my channel. Yeah, I was thinking of Scourge, but yeah, this could just be good old rock with this mana. Yeah, they're much more into red than green. Oh no, it is Dismember. So opponent does have Dismember, and it could be a Shadow. That's another Hex Drinker. So we would not mind finding a removal spell, preferably Fatal Push. More land is not what we want. I think we're just going to play Goyf. Play Goyf, play a tap land, pass. Yeah, really need to draw some action here. We could potentially play and equip Sword next turn, which might be what we go for. Yeah, I think that's fine actually, because we can go play equip Sword, attack. My opponent has to discard a card. Okay, so I had to take a phone call during that the last few bits of this game, so I've just switched over to the recording, so I'll just talk through what we did. So just equip the sword to Tarmogoyf, and obviously you get protection from green, so my opponent can't block. We're going to swing in, we're going to untap all of our lands. We are slapping in for 5 damage as well, and my opponent has to discard a card with the intention of playing Batter Skull after we untap all of our lands. See what my opponent discards. They discard a Team of Battle Rage, obviously struggling to cast that with the lands they have. And we go ahead and just cast Batter Skull. Make a 4/4 lifelinker. And pass the turn. So see what my opponent does here. They find their red land, so they could be holding another Team of Battle Rage. So they've got a few choices. They could try and level up the Hex Drinker, they could crack Peatland looking for some more action. They can't do anything to remove this Goyf. We're not dead to a fatal push on the Germ. Just go to attacks. But we've obviously got good blocks here. We're thinking about what we should block. Is you know, if my opponent has Team of Battle Rage, they don't kill us here. But we're thinking about the blocks. My opponent does just concede, sees that we're going to gain 4 life anyway. So yeah, I don't think anything saves them there. So we'll skip ahead to sideboarding. So sideboarding for this, we've done the same as we often do. We've cut all of our discard spells, brought in kind of all the grindy kind of cards, an extra 2 copies of Kaya's Guile. We brought in the Mire Triton. It's got Death Touch, which is pretty good. Brought in the Lingering Souls. Opponent can struggle to deal with Lingering Souls. Brought in the Infinite Explosives. That's very good against Death Shadow, Hex Drinker. One of the only cards that, well, certainly the only card we have that kills a Hex Drinker on fully leveled up. So yeah, I think my audio comes back for the next game, so I'll switch back to that. Okay, we see a decent opening 7. So yeah, it's got a lot to like. Got a 0, 1, 2, and 3 mana spell with the lands to cast it, so that's quite a curve. Okay, Blood Crypt, so we're probably getting Thought Seized here. Oh no, they are on, my opponent is on Swift Spear. It's been attacked for 2. So I think we are going to Fatal Push their Swift Spear, and I think we're going to do it Sorcery Speed. Kaya's Guile is nice to pick up. Okay, so I think we're going to do it Sorcery Speed. I just don't want to get blown out by Veil of Summer. Essentially, I'm so wary of that card. So let's get a Swamp, cast a Bauble, push the Swift Spear, because we've got 2 more removal spells now essentially. So we'll have a look and see what my opponent's drawing. They're finding another Bauble, so not much information to gather from that. Okay, opponent got a Thought Seize. Could take our Stoneforge Mystic. Depends on their hand, I suppose. They could play a Shadow this turn. A little bit surprised, I suppose, that Thoughtseize remains in my opponent's deck, but I guess they need to get rid of things like Liliana. Okay, so they're using this as a scry, so they're probably not going to play anything. So they do like what they see on top of their deck though, which is a bit worrying for us obviously. Okay, we get a draw from Bauble here. We draw Tarmogoyf, which isn't bad. So if my opponent has a bolt, it's better to play Goyf. If they have push, it's better to play Mystic. I guess Goyf here can't be killed by any of their spells apart from push. Can't be killed by Dismember, can't be killed by bolt. But I think we're going to place, given that we've got 2 Stoneforge Mystics. So yeah, I think we assume it can't be killed. Oh yeah. I thought for a second that I was passing through our before making a land drop. It is our turn 2. Kai's Guile is a nice one here. Looks like my opponent does have something to say about our Stoneforge Mystic. It is Fatal Push. Okay. So my opponent just got nothing there. That's odd. He's a nice pickup. Play a land. I think we'll just play a Goyf now. Opponent went through a Fatal Push. Could have another one. Bolt doesn't kill this. Bolt plus Dismember does, but I think we're fine with that. Okay, they've got another push. Fair enough. Okay, Thoughtseize pretty good. Depends what my opponent. Okay, taking the removal there. Could be that my opponent's got threats and they're waiting until a time that we can't kill them. Okay, we find a bauble, so I'll play the bauble. Play the Stone Forge. We'll go and get, I think, Feast and Famine again. Yeah, Feast and Famine, and then we'll bauble my opponent. We're doing it now because I could find Fatal Push or something. If I see a 1-mana threat, I might play E on 1. Okay, opponent finds Dismember, which is a little bit annoying. Although looking like they've got their 3rd copy of Fatal Push. So they've got Dismember in hand, so at least that... Oh, Lingering Soul is a good draw. Yeah, Lingering Soul is an excellent draw. Always happy to see that in these types of matchups. Play out a land, pass the turn. So if we find a land next turn, we could play an Equip Sword. Opponent may just go for a Lure Us to Hand here. Okay, so we do find a land, so that's pretty nice. We get to do a lot of things here. Okay, that is enough for my opponent to concede the game. Okay, so a handy win against Jund Shadow there. My opponent did get a bit stuck on lands, but the card quality in our deck is very good. You know, opponent kind of sees the writing on the wall there. We can attack, they discard, we untap all of our lands, and then we can, you know, what we probably do is play Flashback Souls, or we could play Batter Skull. We've got lots of options. So yeah, good stuff. We're 2-1. See you again for round number 4. Right, round number 4. What do we think about this? We're on the draw, so we've got 2 looks at another land. We can cast 3 of our spells. I'm going to risk this one. I think it might be wrong, but we'll give it a go. I think if we can find a second land on the top, then this hand's obviously really, really good. We do. That's okay. This hand's now really good. Because this is my opponent, Windswept Teeth, so probably a creature deck. Snakeskin Vial. Okay, so it's Infect, not one we've seen for a while. So we'll take the one that gives it hexproof. So this Kaya's Guile going to be insane. Yeah, it can make a blocker and make my opponent sacrifice a creature. Okay, there's the Nexus. So we're finding a lot of disruption. Could go for the Stoneforge there, but I think we want to keep I think we want to keep disrupting my opponent. See if my opponent goes for something here. Looks like they are. See if they are going for mutagenic growth. Let that resolve. So it may be that we just take 3 infect here and then try the fatal push afterwards. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think we can take 3 infect here. It's a bit odd, but if it's another snakeskin vial, we don't want to take the extra 1, get blown out by fatal push. Yeah, there we go. So opponent did have that. So okay. So we'll play the bauble. We know my opponent's hand is just lands. So we'll see what they're drawing. Spell Pierce, that's interesting to know. So we'll go and get the Sword of Fire Ice, I think, here. Really do want to find our 3rd land now. Spell Pierce is a good one for my opponent. Obviously we'll Thought Seize that. So opponent can hit us for 2 a turn. Which obviously isn't ideal. Okay, so we find the 3rd land. So now we're going to Thought Seize my opponent so that we can take the Spell Pierce. Okay, so we essentially just need to survive this turn. And then we put Batterskull into play. Yeah, we're going to put Batterskull in so that we can start attacking. And now we're just holding up Kaya's Guile forever, essentially. See what my opponent's drawing. Okay, so they're finding Blossoming Defense. Okay, they're not finding Blossoming Defense now. Yeah, didn't realise that. Possibly should have waited on the bauble. But okay, so we find a Tarmogoyf. Not really what we want. Okay, opponent goes for Inkmoth Nexus, makes it bigger. So I'll do this in the attack phase. Each opponent sacrifices a creature, create a token. This can't. This yeah. This card gets around any sort of hexproof spell here. If my opponent had a fetch land there, they could have gone and got Dryad Arbor, but we still could have blocked. Okay, so we get there against Infect game 1. Let's see what we want to bring in. So a lot of our cards are good. We're gonna probably want those. Probably want the extra Kaya's Guiles. Scavenging Ooze is pretty low value. Obviously you want anything that removes a creature. Lurus is possibly a bit slow. Maybe trim a sword. So we're definitely bringing in Engineered Explosives and Kaya's Guile. I think we do want to make room for these as well. On the draw, I think you might cut a Liliana. For another Guile. And then what do we want to cut? Do you want to cut anything for these Lingering Souls? Unsure what we cut here. Hex Drinker is interesting. It can block. I think we'll cut a Hex Drinker for Souls. Let's go with that. Sometimes opponents board into Tarmogoyfs. I've seen that a bit of a resurgence in that recently. Yeah, this hand's okay. No removal is not ideal. But you know, we've got Inquisition, we've got double Inquisition and a Goyf. So opponent keeps 6 cards. Looking like a Glistener Elf here. Okay. So we find our 3rd land, that'll be useful for Liliana. Inquisition. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. That's interesting. I guess that's for Stoneforge. We're just going to take the threats here. Yeah, so yeah, we don't want my opponent to overwhelm the board with threats. Wouldn't be surprised to see them use the Mutagenic Growth here. They do indeed. Okay, Engineered Explosives is good, but I think we're going to wait until next turn because otherwise it just gets wilted. So yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and cast a Tarmogoyf. might cycle the wilt. Yeah, they do cycle the wilt. Okay. So whatever happens, we're blocking here. It's usually the case against Infect that you want to think about blocking. Oh, that's good for us. That's very good for us. Because now obviously we just go engineered explosives on one. And then do we attack? I guess so. Although I'd imagine my opponent blocks here. Yeah, I probably should have attacked first, actually. But if my opponent chooses to double block or whatever. Are we okay with taking one infect here? I think so. I'm just using this as a kind of way of stopping my opponent playing more creatures. I think we are going to blow it up now. So now we'll attack. Attack for 4. And then we're going to Inquisition and then decide from there. So we're either going to Inquisition and then... Oh boy. Okay, so... That's got in... Okay, I think we're double thought seizing here. Because we don't want to leave my opponent with either of these cards. So... Yeah, we'll take... although if my opponent casts this, we can just Liliana it. They haven't got the land to cast it at the moment. But we can't Liliana this turn anyway, so yeah, it's going to we'll take Vines, play a land, going to fetch now. Let's grab a swamp, I think. And then Thoughtseize again. Take my opponent's Viridian Corruptor. Yeah, we're definitely paying here. But I don't know, a little bit surprised, I guess, that my opponent's Spell Pierce is there. Stops us playing Stoneforge, but I don't think we care too much about that. If we get to empty my opponent's hand. And we can pass the turn. See if my opponent's drawn anything. They have got the Inkmoth Nexus, of course, which they are going for. Okay, so I mean it's a little bit scary, but we can play everything here, actually, can't we? I was just about to say we can play Liliana and tick up, get rid of the Marsh Flats, but we can just play Stone. No, we can't quite play Stoneforge Mystic and do everything, can we? Because that's a good point, actually. Yeah, I've miscalculated because Stoneforge Mystic will go and grab. I guess we could play Stoneforge Mystic, play the sword, which isn't too bad. Save Liliana. Difficult, because if my opponent's holding a pump spell, and it's, I think we need to Liliana actually. Yeah, I think we do, just because we can't. But Stone. So it's the question is, if my opponent's holding something like Scale Up and they find a land, they win next turn. Whereas if my opponent finds something rubbish, yes, if my opponent finds, yeah, I think we have to Lily here. I think we're gonna play the Stoneforge and just grab Batterskull, because Batterskull doesn't matter if we just discard it. And so we'll get the Batterskull, and then I am going to play Liliana, I think. Just, I don't know, it's the lowest risk strategy. Then my opponent needs to find a land and something. Yeah, I think this is definitely the play, because now my opponent needs to find a land. Yes, it was a Might of Old Crowser, which is +4/+4. Yeah, so if my opponent finds a land next turn, they win the game. So yeah, obviously very pleased with our sequencing there. Found the right line. Obviously, if my opponent doesn't find a land now, we do just kill them, but they now need to find 2 good draws. We've got 5 points of power on the field. Sword of Fire and Ice is lethal. Temple Garden's certainly not lethal. So let's play that tapped. Tick up. Don't think my opponent can do it now. Because they'd need... Oh, there's a Scale Up as well. I mean, yeah, we would have won the game. You know, we would have been fine taking the other line in the end. But if that Scale Up had been a land, then we're really paid off for the line we took. Okay, my opponent at 2. I can't think of any card that gets them out of this. Something like Mutagenic Growth doesn't get there. Man, we get there. Excellent. Okay, so that felt good. We're 3-1. Join us again for the next round. We'll go for the 4-1. Okay, welcome back for round number 5. We will be on the playing for the 4-1. We have to mulligan this. If this was a land, it might be worth risking. Sorry, if this was an untapped land, it might be worth risking, so we could Inquisition on 1, but don't want to keep a 1 land with just that. This isn't great either. 5 lands. I think we will go for this. I don't think we want to mulligan again on the play. My opponent's mulligan 6, so I think we'll keep and bottom one of these fetch lands. Okay, so I'm going to shock here, just because we know that there's a land on the bottom of my deck. Okay, so it's dredge, so one Inquisition coming in handy, but we're not going to want to fire the other one off. Tarmogoyf is an excellent draw there. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and play that. Normally I'd play the fetch land to grow the Tarmogoyf, but my opponent's got a fetch land. And yes, still wanting to keep that land we bottomed on the bottom. Tarmogoyf really good in this matchup. Liliana of the Veil is not what we want. I mean, there's potential to Inquisition the Liliana away. You know, we could Inquisition ourselves, take Liliana, but don't think that, you know, that grows the Tarmogoyf, but don't think we want to be doing that. Stinkweed Imp's the one that has kind of death touch, isn't it? Probably are fetching at the end of this turn now. Probably should have played the Liliana actually last turn. Yeah, that was silly. We should have just played the Liliana and left it. Yeah, that was a mistake on my part, because then we could have just edicted now. We'd like to draw Kaya's Guile, really. That would be ideal. Yeah, a bit sad that I didn't play out this Liliana, because now if we draw something like a Stoneforge Mystic, if we draw something like a Stoneforge Mystic, it'll be annoying. Just a lot of unused mana. Okay, well we can just push. Push grows the Tarmogoyf as well, so I think we'll just go and get Overgrown Tomb and Fatal Push here. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying that we have to put a Dredger in the graveyard, but I mean, we can't attack without it, and we do need to win the game. Oh, double Creeping Chill. Nothing else though. Okay, Stinkweed Imp. And a Shriek Horn. Okay, another Goyf is nice. God, those Creeping Chills. So I think we do just play the Liliana now. But we're not in great shape here. Okay, and then we might as well Inquisition now to see what. Okay, my opponent's got an Ox, which isn't ideal. If they're unlikely to hit a land, I suppose. Oh, they did go for their draw step. Oh no, they didn't. Oh, they hit Conflag and Ox. Ox is going to trigger the Prized Amalgam, and they get to dredge with Golgari Thug and Life from the Loam. Yeah, the Creeping Chills. Without the Creeping Chills, my opponent would be at 9. It might be manageable, but I think, yeah, we're obviously in a lot of trouble here. Hit a Narcomoeba as well, and a Bloodghast. Yeah, a little bit of everything here from my opponent. They can Ox again if they want. Looking like they are. What sideboard do we have against Dredge? So we have 2 copies of Kaya's Guile and Nile Spellbomb 2 back. So we're fairly set up for Dredge. Another Creeping Chill. Opponent got 9 cards in library. How many prized amalgams? Just the 1 prized amalgam. Like another Tarmogoyf. Does that keep us in it? Probably not. Something like a Stone Forge. Okay, land definitely doesn't. So if we play the Goyf, we can block these 2. And then we get conflagrated to death. Okay, so losing game 1 to Dredge is not uncommon. Let's see what we can... So we take out all of the Lilianas. Scavenging Ooze is obviously great. We want the discard, weirdly enough. Abrupt Decay and Trophy. We'll cut the Abrupt Decays. And then we definitely want all the Ashioks, all the Kaya's Guiles, and the Spell Bomb. And then other cards I'd consider. Don't think we want E, it's too mana intensive and all their threats are quite big mana costs. Not massively keen on Fatal Push. I think on the play we'll cut the pushes for the decays. Do we want souls instead of the other pushes? I think so. Souls can block for ages and provide threats, and they can carry a sword nicely. I guess the Sword of Feast and Famine isn't great, having my opponent discarding cards. I think we'll go with this though. So yeah, really looking for a hand that, I mean, the ideal hand, always fun to think about, is something like turn 1, maybe discard, turn 2, Spellbomb Hex Drinker, turn 3, Ashiok. But see what we find. Okay, so this hand has Kaya's Guile, but we're not doing anything till turn 3. Is that going to be too slow? We have a Bauble as well. I think we're going to go with this, given that we've got Kaya's Guile as well. It's a bit of a... Sorry, given that we've got Mishra's Bauble, it is a risk. There is the potential to buy ourselves back into the game with Lurrus. You know, actually the only graveyard hate we have that you can play earlier than this is Nihil Spellbomb. We're only running one of those. Opponent mulls to 5. So if my opponent's on Cathartic Reunion hand, play this. My opponent might be running Thoughtseize. So I'm going to Bauble in their upkeep. Okay, they find a life from the loam. Okay, so looking like a Cathartic Reunion hand. Okay, we find Thoughtseize, which is actually really nice here. And a Spell Bomb. Yeah, that's really nice. Could have just played Spell Bomb there. But something like a haggle potentially. Okay, so this is 1 mana. So I'm going to take the spell they can cast this turn and then play the spell bomb, because otherwise in response they can haggle, and then that's fine. Okay, so we've got double Grave Hate up, which is good. Going to be patient on this spell bomb, and then given that we have Lurus, we can spell bomb every turn. Okay, so this is going to be Cathartic Reunion. Oh no, Life from the Loam. Sure, we don't care about that. Okay, so we have kind of embarrassment of riches here. I think we're just going to play Ashiok. We have quite a lot of Grave Hate, it seems. I'll mill myself. Okay, so we're kind of okay. We're set up okay here. Opponent can Cathartic Reunion, but we can spell bomb. If we find a land, we can spell bomb every turn. Opponent can't fetch because of Ashiok. Okay, there's a sword. I think we're just going to play Lurus. And we can play Bauble. And pass the turn. See what my opponent's drawing. Is that Ancient Grudge? I mean, my opponent can Ancient Grudge us, but yeah. Okay, I think my opponent sees the writing on the wall, given that we have Lurus out and a spell bomb. Yeah, we can just spell bomb them every turn. So a handy one there. We just found all of our sideboard cards, which is obviously good in any matchup. So just going to run it back and hope to find a similar. On the draw, that hand would not have been as good. Just a bit slow. Although, well, we found the spell bomb and the Thoughtseize off the top, so it might have actually been fine. But it might have to be a bit more aggressive with our mulligans on the draw. Okay, what do we think of this? Again, it's really quite a similar hand. My opponent's kept 7. I think we're going to go with it and hope to find hope that my opponent's on a Cathartic Reunion hand rather than a. Okay, so I haven't played Shriekhorn, so yeah, we'll Inquisition here. Veil of Summer? Haggle? Okay, Haggle. Okay, so I think we're just going to take Shriekhorn here. It's the most annoying card. A bit surprised they didn't. Oh, they didn't play it because of this. I think they might have forgotten to dredge. Well, I mean, yeah, we're taking Shriekhorn there. So I think we'll get to dredge the Stinkweed Imp. We need to hope for a small dredge. It might be that they. Yeah, they're trying to find lands. Okay, they do find the land. Okay, we find nothing. Okay, there's a Creeping Chill, but nothing else too major. So we can now hold up Kaya's Guile. They haven't actually got a dredger in the bin. Stinkweed Imp. Okay, so how much do we care about that? We could Kaya's Guile here, kill this, which kills this and exiles my opponent's graveyard. How much do we want to do that, given that we don't actually have any follow-up play? I think given that it's only a 1/2, I think we'll keep it at the moment. I think we'll just hold. Okay, so okay, opponent finding lands. Okay, so we're just going to abrupt decay that, I think. Decay this. So we know my opponent's hand pretty much. Okay, now we find another Kaya's Guile, so we can be fairly liberal with it now. Okay, conflagrate. If my opponent discards their hand here, it's really good. So they've ditched Golgari, Thug, Bloodghast. This is flashbacked, isn't it? So we can just go ahead and do this now. So each opponent sacrifices a creature, exile all cards from each opponent's hero. Notably, it's worth noting that the way this is worded, they sacrifice the creature before we exile their graveyard. So the Stinkweed Imp does get exiled. Let's make absolutely sure that we get this right. Each opponent sacrifices a creature, exile all cards. And then my opponent's just left with an abrupt decay in hand, which is okay with us. I'm fairly unwilling, I think, to tap out of Kaya's Guile altogether. Okay, we find another one. So we could play Batterskull. My opponent can't play Cathartic Reunion. Yeah, I think we're just going to play Batterskull actually. Maybe that was wrong. I suppose my opponent can abrupt decay the germ. Okay, my opponent just concedes. So yeah, we get there with the 4-1. A lot of graveyard hate there coming in very handy. Let's check out the list, see if we'd make any changes. I'm really, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Stoneforge Mystic. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know whether Stoneforge Mystic package is better than Dark Confidant and then changing some of these to different things or what, but you know, sometimes some decks just can't beat Stoneforge Mystic. So yeah, really happy with how the list performed. Hope you all enjoyed it. Please do subscribe if the content's something you're enjoying, and yeah, see you back again for some more mid-range Magic. Cheers.